Confucius Temple is the concrete symbol of Chinese Confucian culture. The Confucius Temple located in Jiufu, Shandong, is the biggest and oldest Confucius temple. It was built by remodeling the living quarters of Confucius by the king, Aigong, of the kingdom Lu in 487 BC, 1 year after the death of Confucius. The first Confucius temple in Taiwan is located in Tainan City, built in the 19th year of Yongli Emperor. The Confucius Temple in the foothills of Hetuo Mountain of Taoyuan Xian was built on the suggestion of local dignitaries Shi Wanquan and Qian Qipiao. It was completed in 1989. There are many Confucius temples on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. Although the architecture of Confucius temples has their own characteristics, there are still some places in common, such as Xiama tablet. The tablet is located in front of the temple, hinting that officials, military officers, and civilians should get off their horses here before entering the temple to show respect to Confucius. Wanren Palace Wall. It is a big and tall wall. The origin of the saying comes from the 19th chapter named Zijiang of the Analects of Confucius. The wall symbolizes the teachings of Confucius is as high as the wall of a few runs. People are not able to see the beauty and value inside without studying it. Lean Star Gate. Lean Star is one of the ancient 28 stars. It is the star in charge of education and literature. The Lean Star Gate symbolizes Confucius, a great educator, as the Lean Star, educating and teaching talents from above. Pan Pond and Pan Bridge. Pan Pond is a pond shaped like a half moon. According to the etiquettes of the Zhou dynasty, the emperor's school is surrounded by water, and the school of kings can have waters on the south side, which take up the meaning of half water. Confucius, ordained by Wenxuan King, the Pan Pond is a standard establishment of Confucius temples. The arch bridge on the pond is called Pan Bridge. The bridge is steep and slippery, symbolizing that it is not easy to pursue studies. Dacheng Gate. It is the main entrance to Dacheng Hall. Because Confucius did not speak of weird, superstitious, or unruly things, and his virtue and teachings cannot be excelled by ancient or modern men, there is no image of a door god on the gate. People usually enter through the side gate as a gesture of respect to Confucius. Mingluan Hall. Mingluan Hall is actually a classroom in ancient times when teachings of Confucius were taught under the sponsorship of officials. Now it is used mostly for organizing activities to studying classics. East Wing Room and West Wing Room. The side rooms on the two sides of the Dacheng Hall are called East Wing Room and West Wing Room. This is the place where outstanding disciples and saints and prominent scholars of various generations are worshipped. Zhongsheng Ancestral Hall. Zhongsheng Ancestral Hall is worshipping the ancestors of Confucius as well as saints and prominent scholars before him. Before the Confucius worshipping ceremony is held at Dacheng Hall, a worshipping ceremony will first be held at the Zhongsheng Ancestral Hall to show respect to forefathers and the precedence of the elders before the young. Dacheng Hall. It is the main hall of a Confucius temple, worshipping the ancestral tablets of Dacheng Great Saint Teacher Confucius, Fu Saint Yanzi, Zhong Saint Zengzi, Shu Saint Zisizi, Ya Saint Mengzi, and 12 various forebears. To show the highest honor to Confucius, normally the Dacheng Hall will not open, and ordinary people are not allowed to enter at will. Confucius is from Qiufu, Shandong. His last name is Qiu. When he was 3 years old, he lost his father. He led a hard life and was not taught by regular teachers. He was raised by his mother. When he was 15, he had made up his mind to study hard, become a great scholar, and benefit the world. He was in the midst of the great chaotic Sunqiu period, with consecutive wars that had sent people in misery. He started teaching at the age of 30. He once served as a high official of the kingdom Lu and taking over the duty of the prime minister. It only took him 3 months to rebuild a good political climate in the kingdom Lu. Unfortunately, he could not stay long at this post to transform his ideas into reality. At the age of 55, he started touring various kingdoms and led a life of always traveling with poor conditions in order to publicize his teachings in hope that kings of various kingdoms would accept his teachings. But his teachings were not heeded to by these kingdoms. At the age of 68, he returned to the kingdom of Lu and worked on the compilation of ancient classics, deleting part of Xi Shu, revising Li Yue, editing Qiu Yi, and rectifying Sun Qiu. He continued to teach disciples. At last he died of an illness at the age of 73, at 479 BC. The core of Confucius' ideas is benevolence. Benevolence is the highest state of human upbringing. It is also the norm of virtue. It makes people love one another so as to achieve the right way of forgiveness. Knowing the right way is actually practicing benevolence. One is pious toward his parents, respectful toward his elders, trustworthy toward friends, loyal toward the country. Benevolence is practically the supreme virtue that commands all virtues. It is the fulfillment of one's character. The only purpose of Confucius all his life was to faithfully practice benevolence. Politically, Confucius thought highly of a rule by virtue. He opposed hard treatment of people by the government and cruel killing as a means of penalty. In addition, he was the first one to start private teaching. He taught students according to their gifts of nature. He was also not differentiating of his students and provided educational opportunities to civilians. He was intelligent and benevolent. From the date he started teaching to his death, he never stopped teaching students. So his posterity has respectfully called him Dacheng Great Saint Teacher Confucius because of his great contribution. We are told that Confucius had a total of 3,000 disciples. Among them, 72 had good achievements in other studies. There were 10 who topped all others in 4 categories. In the category of virtue, Yan Hui, Ming Ziqian, Ran Bo Niu, Zhong Gong are top performers. In the category of language, which required a sharp tongue, there were Cai Wu, Zi Gong. In the category of political affairs, Ran You and Zi Lu are front-runners. And in the category of ancient classics, there were Zi You and Zi Xia. Among Confucius's disciples, many had made great achievements. This had a good influence on the spread, formation, and development of Confucianism in the political environment at the time. After Confucius died, his disciples went different ways to persuade kings to accept Confucianism. In the Qiangguo period, Meng Zi had the opportunity to bring Confucianism into full play and also founded its theoretical basis. Since the Wu Emperor of West Han Dynasty gave the supreme prominence to Confucianism and spurned all others. The influence of Confucianism is both deep and far. For the past more than 2,000 years, Confucianism has become the foundation stone of the Chinese culture. It has also enjoyed a high status in neighboring countries such as Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. Confucianism also influenced the enlightenment of the 18th century in the West and the development of modern democracy. For thousands of years, Chinese culture has been influenced by Confucianism. There are always some traces of the ideas of Confucius in people's daily lives, whether with a form or not. The development of Confucianism in Taiwan has not been paused because of the political alienation on both sides of the Taiwan Strait.
儒学在传统中国社会本来有的作用，就是3方面。这刚才讲，第一个是维护伦常，第二个是在这个实践中培养这个士君子的人格，第3方面呢，在那里取得永恒而且绝对的人生的意义跟价值。
在现代，以儒家的学问来面对现代的问题，继续的继承儒家精神，发扬儒家的精神，来解决时代问题。这一种人就称为当代新儒家。
儒学研究中心 我们那个宗旨啊，就是推动这个新儒学研究。那么当然是在大学里头嘛，当然我们是希望啊，以训练年轻学生为主。那么希望啊，这个中央大学的年轻的同学啊，主要是研究生呢，能够接得上我们这个传统儒学乃至于新儒学的这个传统。
民国初年以来，就有几位大师级的人物，头一批就有熊十力、梁漱溟、马一浮，那第二代呢就有牟宗三、唐君毅、徐复观、张君迈这几个人为代表，号称第二代新儒家。
在台湾，除了我们俄乌杂志的努力之外呢，中研院的中国文哲研究所啊，他也做了很多这方面的努力。
我对于儿童读经是一个首创者，它是非常简单的理论，但是呢，它又是合乎人性的。现在既然已经有这么多人在读经，而且时间已经经过了这么久，我们就可以看到有百利而无一害。
The study of Confucianism can not only see in its entirety the essence of Confucianism, but also heed the wisdom and teachings of the great saint through actual implementation after academic studies. Confucius Temple has embodied the respect of the posterity for Confucius. In the Confucius worshipping ceremony, held yearly, the posterity commemorates the great saint teacher, who has a great contribution to them with utmost respect. One can also take this opportunity to self-examine his own deeds in light of the legacy of the saints, so as to create a serene and wonderful new life by emulating the saint